Hey, this is Adri from Mythos. I just wanted to make a quick video and, well, nothing too special. I just wanted to show like a couple of the bosses I've been working on, right? I've picked like three at random. Two actually were because of like random number picks from like one time I asked in discussion a couple of days ago, right? And and the other one's just Orc Hero because I thought that he was kind of cool and nothing nothing more about it really. Right now, the boss design list is like halfway through. Like we have like I don't know, I'd say like 60% of the original bosses and like a couple of new ones, right? And well, this video is just focusing on that. Like, sorry, it's not really addressing like any of the other issues. Well, larger issues with the server. Those we're going to be dealing with, like eventually as the patch, is done. And we really are aiming at fixing, well, I mean, just fixing, I'm not gonna say everything, but like the state post patch will be hopefully a lot more satisfactory. So that said, I'm just going to focus for now on the enemy design. We can just summon Maya, which is one of the bosses we're working on. She's actually one of my favorites. I was very happy that like she was like randomly the the number that was mentioned, right? You saw that she respawned. One of the first things she did was like Tremor Toming. She always has Tremor Tome active throughout the fight. That means that whenever she attacks, she does magical air damage as well, right? So that makes her, like she's still tankable. Her damage is not like, like through the roof all the time, but she does hurt quite a bit. And well, it's just something, like that one has to gear in mind with, right? This only applies to normal attacks. So if she does an AoE skill, she won't, like also do magical damage to like the people that get hurt and stuff like that. So anyway, right now I'm immune, which is why she's, like just like running around. But now let's stop that. And you can see that, one of the first things she does is roller cuttering. And yeah, that's a follow-up she doesn't do every time. You saw it right now, she's going, crazy. Whenever she's rolling cutters, she does like decent damage, but she has a chance of also, like deleting ground defenses, basically combating, and then gets a buff that makes her attack quite fast for just a little bit, right? I know that Majestic Sword usually lasts a lot longer, but this version of it just lasts a couple seconds, so that she can do a little, burst window and then knock you back if you don't have like knockback immunity and stuff like that. As you can see, I'm almost dead. This character has like pretty decent defenses, but he doesn't have anything in the way of mitigation or any other like support driven defense that would help with this. So a real character can be a lot tankier than this, which I would expect a tank to be. Nevertheless, these numbers aren't final, right? They're just like an initial stab. Like she also doesn't have anywhere near her in terms of health. These monsters are meant to be very tanky, right? They are gonna take like at least like 3 minutes or something to kill. That would be my expectation anyway. Maybe that won't be the case, right? That's fine too. If it's too far from the intended, duration, we might buff them, or like do changes. They'll probably need changes either way. But as you can see, like her basic routine, right, is pretty simple. She just like rolling cutters every now and then. If she doesn't come banting, like you can probably just stand in a safety wall, right? And she'll miss most attacks except those that are addressed to the tank. So like, he'll only really have to worry about that. But she can delete them every now and then. And so if the, backline DPS are, not backline, but like frontline DPS are like attacking her, right? Well, they'll either have to like get healed from the rolling cutter, survive it somehow, or just, deal with this stuff, right? If they're standing in a safety wall, they're pretty much just safe, but there are other ways of, not dying from that. And even though she does hurt a lot, it's not like unsurvivable damage. Like, like you can mitigate that pretty, relatively easy. And you can also walk out of it, if you're damaging from like mid range, you probably just have an easy time just like clicking, away from the AoE and that's it. Anyway, she does more than this. When basically bosses have like this routine, and then they have something that they refer to internally as an eye flash. They basically just indicate with an emote that they're going to do a mechanic, right? And that starts after they've been damaged a little bit. So now, for example, I'm gonna attack her. She doesn't have anywhere her health, but like you can see, she did this, and now she's doing this. And now she's doing something different. Now, during this phase, right, she moves slow, and she buffs with either Exceed Break or Inspiration, and it can be pretty bad. You can see the magical component of the attacks is almost dealing like 5,000 damage right there, right? And the crosscutter, if it catches you, she moves quite slow, but if you accidentally put it on top of your DPS, if you accidentally get hit by it, you'll most likely die. And if you're just standing on a wall, right, I mean like a safety wall, and she does that, she gets inspiration, I mean, well, you're going to be taking a lot of magical damage, so that's also something to keep in mind, right? She's actually quite simple, as I said. Like, she doesn't have much more other than like this mechanic where she summons an egg, right? And the egg is very tanky, once it has like the real non-showcase HP, just like she is. But yeah, the idea is just that while she summons, the egg is alive for like 30 something seconds, right? I think I call it a chrysalis. I'm not sure that's a great name for it, but like, it sounded, nice too. But yeah, that's basically what she does. She, now she's gonna summon again. I'm gonna let the egg, what do you call it when they, well, just, like complete its transformation, right? And during this, you could DPS her, right? But obviously, she's going to take a lot less damage because she's in still body, and she's also very dangerous to fight, right? While she has all this stuff on. Now, this might feel like Jesus Christ, yeah, she hurts a lot when she's in this. She might feel like she doesn't. Oh, hold up. Well, now that the egg broke, right? You can see that this is a little bit more hectic. She starts singing ugly dance, well, not ugly dance, but she starts not singing, but like performing ugly dance, I guess, and it tanks your mana completely. She also rolling cutters for higher damage in a larger area and faster. So the idea is that if you don't kill the egg, you're basically like throwing the fight, because the Maya purple that comes out of it, it behaves like a mini Maya, kind of, right? I haven't touched on one thing that they do yet. I'm basically like addressing only like the melee component of it yet. But well, it's pretty tough to survive when you have no mana, when you have like like these two things attacking you, and it actually gets worse the more Maya purples that there are around her, right? If you run away from the egg, and she recalls it, it'll automatically transform into the Maya purple, which is pretty bad, obviously. So yeah, once she's, once the egg has broken, like it's really hard to keep the fight. But one thing that helps a little bit is that helps in quotation marks, I guess, is that when she when either her or the Magic Purple are attacked at range, right, and she is in chase, or well, she has a chance of doing it when she is attacking, but like it's less, it happens less. But let me just this is Earthquake, that won't hit them actually, but Barrett's Spear should. Do I even have the dex for it? Okay. What I don't have is mana, but this is Berry of the Calf, as you can see. Doesn't seem to be doing right now. Did I turn off this part of the script or what? Oh, okay, there we go. I don't know why they weren't doing it right now. When she's in this phase, like she has a lot of actions that she does. So a single person like has trouble. I've tested this with multiple characters, and she does do it reliably, but it's tough to get her to perform certain actions when she's already like in this sort of like frenzy state, and she's not doing the eye flash anymore, which is like the main mechanic, right? Where she summons the egg, because she healed over 98%. The eye flashes used to start at any point, right? But I felt like it was a little too much, that most bosses would just immediately start the fight with doing their main mechanic, right? So players had like no chance, you know, to like adapt or like warm up a little bit at all, right? But yeah, as you can see, like now the egg is going to break open again. And now there's two Maya purples, which is, you know, really bad news. And the fucking roller cutter is gigantic. It's about the size of the Gambanting. And this actually makes it like a lot more dangerous, even though, you know, like even not counting the Maya purples, just because every time she rolling cutter, she has that chance of like going into a small frenzy. And it's just, I mean, it's just really hard to survive. At this point, I don't think the fight is like really salvageable, right? So we just, you know, kill them and summon another one. And yeah, that's basically all she really does. You know, like, let me just get this to target her. And you can see when you attack her at range, right, at any range, and with ground attack skills or whatever, like she has a pretty decent chance of, if she's not doing a combo attack, she'll most likely end up using Sound of Destruction on you. And this Sound of Destruction doesn't look like much, but it stuns you every time, and it does 5,000 irreducible damage, which for backline DPS and like archers and like, you know, wizards and stuff like that, those are pretty bad news. But the worst news is that Maya Purple does it too. So for example, if you just, well, I mean, you wouldn't, these are earth monsters, right? So you wouldn't earth strain them, but like if you hit them with, I don't know, say a Crimson Rock, right? Or a Meteor Storm, they'll probably just turn on you and both Sound Destruction at the same time, and they'll do like 10,000 irreducible damage, which is a lot of damage. So there's threats, you know, for everyone. Obviously you can, you know, walk out of it, right? But this basically forces the backline to also have some amount of how you call it, they have to be separate, you know, in some way, right? And yeah, you can see here, I don't know why Bretter never gets it. I still need to, well, there you go. Yeah, when you have like, I've put, you know, I've set up like tanks hauling the monster, and and just DPS them from afar, and you have to be dodging the Sound Destruction almost every time, you know. It's just, maybe for a little while you'll be able to just stand still and just like DPS, you know, without caring the world like range DPSs usually do, but generally this is a pretty involved fight for them. And for melee DPS, there's really not that much to worry about. Like, they basically just have to worry about, you know, killing the egg when it spawns. And also, they have to, well, be able to survive the rolling cutter, but that's about as much, you know, as they do. And during this, you just dodge her, or you tank her, or, I mean, you can, like, literally safety wall the, you know, the, what you call it, the cross cutter, which is the one shot, but if she inspirations, then that's gonna be a problem, right? So that's about it. And yeah, sometimes, like, you know, like she gets like this little window of time when she starts, when between basically like casts of Steel Body, where she can like kind of catch you off guard with, you know, string of attacks. And that, if she has inspiration on, I mean, you're probably in that like little second, you might be looking at like taking, I don't know, like 25,000 magic damage or something like that. So it's difficult. It's difficult to live it. Obviously, you can wear earth armor and like mitigation and stuff like that. So it's not impossible. But yeah, this is just how Maya works. I don't know. Let me check just a second. I have been talking about Maya. Holy shit, for 15 minutes already. That's insane. Okay, this is going to be a very long video then. Anyway, let's get rid of those, and let's make it a little faster then. Let's summon... Oh shit, I didn't mean to do that, but that was very appropriate. Drake. The way Drake works is that he summons a specific monster called... Let me see if I can spell it. Drowned Wraiths. Drowned Wraiths are... they're a new mob, right? They basically just stay, you know, like on the... Well, if you are alive, right? Which I wasn't technically because they couldn't see me. They just stand still in one place. And I'm gonna need another one to demonstrate how they work. There you go. Now you can see it attacked me just a second, you know, like, but they basically just stand still, and they relocate at random. They don't try to chase you, right? They don't try to like land on top of you, but sometimes they will. When they do, the one that catches you, you know, like they close confine, and the one that catches you will start, you know, blood draining, and the other nearby ones will start, you know, spamming spells at you, right? So it's, I mean, this is not like the creepiest thing in the world or any shit like that, but it's kind of cool. And they have like relatively, you know, like, you have to be really close to get caught, is what I mean. So even though they're very dangerous, unless you walk into them or they happen to like walk straight into you, you're not gonna have much of an issue with it. Drake's gonna start being annoying. Alright, just a moment. Let's just get, I don't know, like 4 of them. And now let's not die. Okay, cool. But yeah, the general idea is that these are the minions he summons, and these are pivotal to his fight, because he summons them very often. Every time he is in chase state, he will do a very damaging attack, and he will summon one minion. So these add up very fast. And also, when he does his high flash mechanic, he will also have... well, he will summon a bunch of them and then do something that I'll show you in just a second. But yeah, these will probably be used, you know, like I don't really mean to use monsters that are meant as mobs. I feel like it's a little cheating, like using mobs that are meant as like minions for a boss, right? Somewhere else. But at the same time, these are pretty fun, right? Like this is just cool. Like you could have like a map, you know, like where like these things are going around, and like you have to like either, you know, you can't really like get all of them at once. So that's pretty funny, and that probably will be used. And because we don't really, you know, like, okay, well, what if I, you know, you might be thinking, what if I just shoot at them, right? Okay, just shoot at them, and oftentimes, okay, I don't know, let's maybe have a little less than 120, and actually I can just use a weaker spell, because I might need that int later for something. Let's just use like as a spike or something like that. And you can see it did nothing, did nothing, did nothing. Okay, it's not doing anything. And now it didn't happen to body relocate on top of me. Whenever you attack them at range, they have a chance of trying to, you know, to relocate near you, right? Not exactly on top, but they might. And well, I feel like that's pretty fair, because like, you get a lot of like free shots, you know, as a non-melee character. But eventually, like, they'll jump on top of you. Not really eventually. I think the chance is like 30-something%. And that means that, you know, like the rest of them start like, well, waterboarding you or whatever the fuck. Because as you can see, like you take a lot of damage from, you know, from the magic side of this. And it's also difficult to kill them. You know, it's difficult to kill the one that is catching you, because it's healing quite a bit whenever it bites you, right? I really like the design of these guys. But yeah, let's delete them, and let's get Drake in the scene. Drake basically attacks, you know, like he moves really slowly, and on chase he'll first give you like a warning shot with a water ball, right? Where he doesn't really do like much damage at all. Like, I mean, you still have to have MDef for it, because it might hit you for like, you know, 6, maybe 7k, like, you know, base damage or something like that. Maybe 8 actually. But the general idea is that, you know, you have to like move a little bit. You have to like choose between moving and risking, you know, like getting pinpointed, which hurts like a bitch, as you can see, and just you know, taking this to the chin, right? You can defend yourself, you can, like, you know, land protector or whatever, but you will take some damage. Managing Buster like lowers your APM, and yeah, like this, he seems like quite tankable, right? You know, like he's really not doing much damage at all, which is part of the intent. But once you see, oh, I didn't change his. Yeah, this is sort of representative of the kind of HP that they have, right? You can see here that he did the. Well, you can first. I'll let you see like what he's doing, right? So I've been close confined because like the you know I was mesmerized by the wraiths, right? That's basically what they do. Like once they when Drake eye flashes, he enters a certain state that signals any living wraith to just mesmerize anyone around, right? And then he will pick a person that is mesmerized, and he will focus them, you know, like for just for like Lords of Vermilion, you know, after like marking the ground with the water escape, which also like slows you down, you know, trying to run away and all of that, and you're getting like harassed by the wraiths. The general idea, you can probably just guess, is that you get to well, you get to kill them. You know, you have to focus the mobs as they are created, basically. You can't really just let them stack, you know, and you have to be vigilant when he eye flashes, because like he can throw the ram pretty bad. You still need quite a I would say you probably want to run, you know, earth armor. No, not earth, water, just because of how much damage the wraiths can do. But and his water balls and stuff, but that makes you very vulnerable to lightning damage. And whenever you get caught, he tries to kill you like really bad, because let me just show here. You know, I get caught, and you're gonna see in a moment after he's done like spamming the attacks, he just thunderstorms. The thunderstorm he only does whenever you're close confined, right? And he focuses on whoever is close confined. You can see it's a lot of, you know, of damage he's took there. So yeah, the main idea is that, you know, you deal with the mobs as they're created, you're vigilant of the eye flash attacks, and that's it. Like, you know, you don't get mauled every time he pinpoints you, which is easier said than done. Is there anything else about this boss? Not really. Like, as I said, like, these are pretty simple. I try to keep them like feeling different, but well, it's a challenge because as you can imagine, there's only so much you can do, right? But I think this is pretty fun, you know, like so far. And more than just fun, it's like this guy, you know, like you look at Drake, right? He's missing a leg. He's like a, you know, an old skeleton pirate that you can't really have this dude running at the same speed as Malia, right? Or just like, you know, like zooming across the screen or like doing stuff like that. It needs to feel like it has like some amount of character, and I feel like this achieves this quite easily. You know, like it achieves it pretty well. Is what I mean, not quite easily. Don't think there's anything more to this. Probably not. Just, you know, like DPS it. Oh yeah, when he's in chase, usually when attacking, you know, like I'm trying to remember like the threats basically to range characters, right? Main threat to range characters is just the wraiths themselves, but how about? Oh yeah, by the way, they start moving afterwards, which is like I feel adds to like the weirdness factor of it. I really like the wraiths in general, and then once they notice you, they just stop and they start relocating. I don't know, just cool. But yes, the water balls will be aimed, you know, at the tank the first time he uses it in chase. But if he's attacked during chase, he will try to, you know, to respond with a water ball. And he might also do this when he is attack, you know, like when he is attacker range and he is just fighting normally. So yeah, I feel like this is pretty cool and like it works well with the theme of the monster. And now for the last one that we have, you know, right now, I need to summon something. These are more mobs that are going to be part of just like future content, right? Hopefully content that will be available like in this patch as well. Basically, Orc Berserkers don't mind the number. I just, sent them all like that. But they don't have like their HP or like anything beyond. Like the damage value is adjusted, I'm pretty sure, because that's why I was testing. But basically, these guys are really tanky, and they have certain behavior patterns that only like show when they are together, right? So a single berserker will like attack you. Okay, I probably didn't adjust the numbers because like as you can see, it's doing no damage at all. Yeah, so he just does like typical cycle, of attack. But the thing about berserkers is that the more berserkers there are, the higher the chance that they start. I mean, they tomahawk you, which is cool, so they slow you down, at range. But the main threat is that once berserkers start stacking up, they start getting rowdy, right? So say that now you get not wraiths. Let's get 2 more berserkers, and I'm pretty sure it's gonna happen immediately. Or not immediately, I guess. But yeah, eventually they'll start shouting. Oh, there you go. And once one of them shouts, the other ones get mad too. So they get like a lot faster, right? They start running after you, and they start beating the shit out of you. They start like axe kicking you, which is stuns, which is a spoiler for Taekwondo, I guess. But yeah, this is just what they're very simple mobs, like that they react to being in this kind of scenario. And once they are in berserk, right, in this like berserkish state, it's not really berserk, but well, once they are chasing like this, initially they'll behave normally, they'll respect aggro like most things do, right? But if they get hit with range attacks, when they're in this state, they usually, like, they don't always do it, but they'll try to go, they enter a state called hunt, which is a state in which they try to focus either a random faraway person or a person that is a player that is just lower health, than the current target they have. And well, you can see, like with this, if too many of them are alive, like it's going to be a problem, right? So we bring that up because now let's do this. You can see here, Orc Hero has them as, normal mobs. I don't really want this to be, I don't want them to be alive right now. So let me just try to click them. There we go. So Orc Hero, the way he works is that, he just mostly like melees you, but he has like a few other, cool attacks, right, that he can do. I worked on this a little bit ago, so I'm a little rusty into, what he does exactly, but he takes a while to summon the berserkers, which is meant to be like like an opportunity window to attack him and stuff. And oh damn, that one had like a really low chance of doing what he did actually. Like he just went berserk immediately, and I think the chance for that is like 0. Like 3% or something when there's like less than 5. But yeah, you can see, like it summons like kind of often, but it takes a while, and he only summons like, like 2 at a time, right? So once you've dealt with those, it's relatively easy to just keep, things safe. This is what he does for like his normal attack pattern. This axe boomerang is something he does on chase, and it's actually really dangerous because it's random targeted. So if you keep him in chase too long, he will try to, to axe boomerang someone, and the axe boomerang does a shit ton of damage, as you saw. It does like 13,000 to this character that has like 90 defense. I mean, it's not like a shit, but it's like a fair amount. And now I just triggered his mechanic, which is this. During this, basically, like, this is magical damage, so it will wreck anyone that gets caught in that. Some versions there are quite a few variations of that attack, but basically the main point about it is that you have to stay either in the safe zone, he will first destroy existing LPs, and then he will, make one of his own. And depending on the kind of shape he creates, the implied danger is higher or lower. It's not very easy to stay safe in it, you know, like, because if you're the tank, I mean, because he can't push you, and if he pushes you, like in you see that the zones appear over time, right? As you can, you know, as you can probably guess, like if you get knocked into one of these, you know, like you might actually get hit and just, you know, like die almost immediately, right? But yeah, that's the main thing he does. Like he just fights with this, right? He vendettas every now and then. You can dodge the vendetta. You probably should dodge the vendetta and position yourself in a way where you're not really, like, you know, threatened by it. But the main thing is he just, you know, he's fighting. He high jumps. Sometimes he does it very slow. If I get hit by this, I'll probably just die immediately. Or I guess I just gave myself a lot more MDF than I thought. But anyway, that attack, when it's on slow, it's going to be a one-shot. I'll just add digits to the, you know, to the monster's magic attack until it's a one-shot, basically. But so the other ones are just, you know, like they're more survival, I guess. You know, like this one, for example, is much faster, and it does a lot less damage. But yeah. Sorry, this is a little bit all over the place. I have been trying to keep things, surprisingly, I've been actually trying to keep things shorter, but yeah, there's just a lot of rambling that goes on with this stuff. There's not much more to Orc Hero. I just like how he jumps. I like the animation. I like that it's actually used instead of like the very boring like sword swing animation he does. I like that he just starts spinning and he looks like he just slams the fuck out of you, you know, like out of the safe zone, which is just hilarious. And he just takes this stance where he has, you know, like doing attacks, which is also really cool. Vendetta is a bitch because yeah, he might, you know, like it might be dodgeable, you know, like and stuff, and it never gets faster. It's not like it's not like Magus rolling cutter, for example, right? But it will get much more dangerous the lower health he has. It works just the same way that it works for real players, right? So you could see before the Vendetta was hitting me for like, no, not that much damage, right? And now I feel like I should mention again that this is not like the health they're going to have, right? This is just for the showcase. And I actually got stunned as I was attacking, so I need to someone else. Anyways, I don't know if I mentioned, but like the endure that bosses have is infinite and it doesn't give them any MDF. So basically, you have to. Oh, by the way, like this warning shot, you know, like LP that happens, the very big one and very like easy to avoid, right? Is that's only the first one as a warning shot, and the rest, you know, like are a little bit more complicated. Well, not more complicated. The melee one is always easy to dodge. But you know what I mean. Like it just gets spicy, I guess. But yeah, here kill piece. And one thing that I can actually show, he does do something more. Like he reacts to. So this is his attack cycle, and you can see the Vendetta when he's low health. It hurts tremendously, right? But actually it gets worse because if his berserkers are allowed to start, well, berserking, right, if they go into this state, it doesn't affect his eye flash, like he still does it the same way. So obviously it's more dangerous because like the mobs are trying to kill you. But he vendettas a lot more. I don't think I made it any faster. I did this mob like, you know, a week ago, so like not all the numbers are fresh in my head. But you can see them getting chunked every now and then, and that's all just the vendettas. Yeah, like it just, you know, starts immediately. He just uses it a lot more when the mobs are in like berserker state. And that plus the fact that they can, you know, easily chase people that are, you know, out on the either attacking at range, it kind of means you either take care of them or you just wipe because like you're not going to be able to coordinate. Well, you're probably not going to be able to coordinate, I guess. To keep them all off of your back, you know, like and keep the backline DPSing. So there are uptime issues for both types of DPS, whether they are close range and long range, and this is going to be a theme moving forward. But there is part of the current mob design. It's interesting, but it has some problems with everything threatening equally people that are short range and long range, and that just makes it troublesome to work with, right? It gives like too much uptime to certain things that need a little less. I don't want to make this a balance talk anyway, and it's probably been like half an hour or something like that. Yeah, it's 35 minutes, so that's definitely a lot. But yeah, I just wanted to show those. This was going to be like a 5-minute demo or something like that, and it turned into half an hour of rambling. It's just a lot of fun to make these mobs and like to, you know, make them different and stuff like that. I'm working on Moonlight right now. I have like, as I said, I have like half the original roster plus a couple of new bosses, right? And there's not going to be any spoilers for those. I'm not sure if I'll make anything else like this. Definitely not this long. But Jesus, definitely not this long. I'm just looking at the clock right now again. But yeah, I know there's problems with the server, right? But overall, like I think there's like a good future ahead. And it's fine either way. Like if people, you know, like want to take like a break now, or like just feel, you know, frustrated with the current state or anything like that, I definitely understand. Everyone on the dev team understands, especially some of the, you know, like of the dev team that actually have time to play. They've experienced like the issues like very fucking firsthand. And yeah, well, we have plans to help with them. You know, right now we just can't do it like on small piece of meal patches because we just can't, right? But I have a good impression like about how things are going to be, and I hope you find the mob design like at least a little interesting, right? It feels a little bit spammy, I think, but like not too much. Like given that these are meant to be bosses that you're going to be fighting, you know, like people are probably going to wipe on these bosses like a little bit, right? Because you can't just blow them up. They have way too much health for that, and you can't just ignore their mechanics. I hope. I'll probably patch them. One thing is that I'll try not to have like a something that I call like adversarial changes, right? If someone, you know, like if a party like finds out a great way to handle Maya, right? I don't think it's necessary to like go out of one's way to like make sure that Maya is still, you know, like a top tier threat. You can't like keep her, you know, like you can't have a solved fight, right? I mean, it depends a little. Like if in some I have some oversight and it just can't be, you know, like avoided, like it just like you can turn on, you know, you can basically disable the boss by doing something. Say that something depends entirely on like ground attacks and you can just LP them. Well, then I mean that would need changes, right? And they would get changes. But if it's like, oh, I can like gear like this, I can have like a Star Gladiator tank or whatever the fuck it is. Star Gladiator, what the hell? Anyway, I can have like some tank, right? That is really good for this. It's intended that there are things that are really good for something, right? Some mobs are much easier to fight with certain characters, and that's for the most part intentional. I think there's too much variety in the game to try to pretend that you can make everything just perfect, you know, like, but hopefully, you know, things are going to work out. And there's more like this. There's a lot more like this. There's a lot more that is more convoluted than this. Not too much. I try not to make things like too difficult to understand at a glance. But hopefully simple stuff like, oh, Maya summons an egg and you have to kill it or else the fight, you know, becomes a shit show and you have COSP. Or like, I don't know, Orc Hero, like he fucking, you know, like basically creates a huge fucking earthquake across the screen and you have to stay in the safe zone or make your own or whatever. Stuff like that just feels like it's nice, and it's a simple way to put a spin on something that I am very passionate about mob design because I feel like it actually has a lot that it can do. and hopefully we'll be able to explore that in a way that is fun. So that's enough rambling for right now, because that's nearly 40 minutes. And yeah, I'll try to keep things updated, you know, not in this shape probably, but just to mention, you know, how stuff is going and where we're moving with the batch progress. All right. Well, see you next time.